This week's episode is brought to you by Dreamer Crook. A seemingly innocuous stand trigger, this Bermuda Triangle unit allowed you to return itself back to deck, bounce a card, and recall it if she was in harmony. But now, she's at 1. Dreamer Crook. Go crook yourself. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night. Coming up next, a 50-hour stream of Banjo-Kazooie where we stay on Rust Bucket Bay for 5 hours. I'm Atlas.
And I'm Matt. Let's not do that.
I'm Root Beer. I don't really have anything witty to say this week.
Really? That's a first for you.
We'll say the stream you're referring to was pretty great.
What, we're H-Bomber Guy's 50-hour stream of Donkey Kong
57 hours, I believe it ended up being. And yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh la la.
Absolutely amazing.
Okay, cool. I was 7 hours. I think after you get past 10...
How do you beat Beaver Bother?
You don't. You get Alexander Ocasio-Cortez to come on.
I believe she was asked how to turn the power on in Frantic Factory.
That's true. She was. Why? How did you memorize all? It's been like a day. I wrote all of it down.
Look, if you can't remember basic things, then how do you ever expect to get ahead, Alice?
It's 50 hours. That's over 2 days. Look, we're not here to talk about this wonderful moment in internet history. We're here to talk about the World Championships for Vanguard and the ensuing Banlist, both of which occurred today and over the weekend.
Last weekend.
Exactly. So, going into Worlds, we were expecting No Life King loop with Enigmatic Assassin to clean up along with Gize for premium. What were we expecting for standard? In English, at least.
That's actually kind of hard because the set just released.
Yes. Answer of
but
truth.
I think if it were me, I would have been looking at Angel Feather.
Yeah, or Neo Nectar.
Mm-hmm. And there was a Neo Nectar, but Neo Nectar, I'm not sure has their promo yet.
They do. They get it for Springfest, I think.
Yeah, so Neo Nectar not having their promo, I didn't expect them as much, but I did expect more Angel Feather than was represented.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great nature at World.
Yeah, so the Answer of Truth set, which we have an episode for that, go listen to it, just dropped in English on Friday. I got all of my great nature stuff, and I'm one happy boy. So I'm sure there was going to be representation for, the 3 clans that dropped in that set just because of the novelty factor.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that not a lot of them would have showed up just because it's vaguely new and untested.
Right.
Yeah, you could have proxied, but I feel like there would have been more proven options. And yet, for standard, in the top 4 in English, oh my god, where did I put it?
I have it up. It's first place was Great Nature, second place was Murakumo, third place Neo Nectar, and fourth place Royal Paladin.
Amazing.
Who was first place again?
Great Nature.
You're damn right it was!
Playing Hamskays.
Yeah, that part doesn't really sit as well with me. But you know what? I hate the way it looks. It looks derpy. Anyway, this is...
So, from what I watched, the Hamskay line looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It basically ended up being a +1, but it was a +1 on your grade 3 ride, guaranteed. And, it was pretty easily fixable. It was pretty rare, and it fixed rides, a lot.
Yeah, I think that was the bigger part, was I assumed that because the grade 3 Hamstay needs the grade 1 and 2 of itself in the soul to even get its effect on ride, that it wasn't worth playing at all. But at the very least, running the grade 1 and 2 of the Hamstay line is worth it just to search out a grade 2. It deck thins, and it guarantees a grade 2 ride that's very strong.
Yeah, and so I think I definitely underrated those cards because I think I said that I didn't think it was very good, and then it did look it ended up looking pretty strong in the finals of Worlds. I'm still not. I still am not 100% sure if it's like the best line that Great Nature has. The Great Nature cards did like that Milda card did seem a little more sketch than normal. But like
well, it's inherently, you know,
yeah,
it's a chance. It's a dice roll. It's a coin flip.
But yeah, definitely the cards that get guaranteed effects are strong in that way. Murakumo looked very good. It seemed like people just weren't respecting Murakumo's lockdown a lot, which I thought was pretty surprising. Like in the quarterfinals, I think there was a time when he was playing against Genesis, where Genesis did a lot to just push him to a bunch of damage, not respecting his lockdown. And obviously Hitomi can do stuff even while locked down, but I was still quite surprised that
they just let it happen.
That you can just like keep him at 2 counterblast, but they're not able to do that.
Well, in Genesis's case, it seems like it's one of the better things to be locked down with, because you can't drive check, but you can draw 3 times.
Yeah, but the Vanguard pressure on attack is so good.
True.
Mm-hmm.
It's still like I think a big deal, but that was their decision, and it could all be correct. I'm not sure, but it didn't end up working out. So
I also heard there were like a decent amount of misplays that might have tainted some matches.
Yeah, so in the top 8, there was a Great Nature player who used Leopold's effect to call a grade 3, which you cannot do. It's if you mill a normal unit, you check top 4 and call 2 grade 2 or less cards. Mm-hmm. So he had called Armed Instructor Bison, and then used Bison's effects on rearguard to give something else 5k, and then at the end of the turn, the error was noticed. So at that point, it was ruled an irreparable game state, and the Great Nature player was given a game loss. But that's still a quarter of the top 8 in standard English being Great Nature, and this is, it's been out for 3 days. So,
yeah,
that's pretty good. I'm surprised Royals made it to top 4 in standard English.
Yeah, that surprised me too. Like, they also did it in Japanese, but they also have more support there.
Yeah, you have all of the Miyagi stuff in Japanese. That's completely understandable.
Let's see what the deck will be. It looks like... Okay, it looks fairly standard, like the...
Haha.
Please.
Like, it has the Soul Saver stuff, and then just plays a couple Exculpates.
Mm-hmm. Apparently OTT still looks good.
Yeah. So...
It took first place in Japan, so...
Yeah.
And it was with the Imperial Daughter build, which is honestly what I expected if OTT were to top anything.
Right. I think Imperial Daughter just has too many lines of text.
Too many lines of text?
Yes.
Yeah, like, it just has so many... Like, it does so much.
Yeah, I think that it... Kind of all they did was just add... like grade 1 Maguses that like the Tetra Magus and stuff.
They added the good Magus cards that were generic, and they also used the Battle Sister promo, which I was a little surprised by.
Tort?
I can't remember what that does now, which at this particular second, which bugs me because
10 or more cards in hand, she gets 10 can a crit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So makes sense.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Also,
I wasn't thinking of that one. I was thinking about the other grade 2.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I'm going to double check what that does really quickly, see if it's something that I missed when...
While he does that, the rest
of
the...
last one, 5 cards from top of the deck, grab a grade 3, shuffle the rest, and then it gains 5k for the end. Okay, yeah, I can see why someone would play that.
Quite good.
Yeah, so it seems like the deck is just searching out grade 3s, gaining power. Alright, I get this.
Yet again, in the rest of the Japanese standard top 4, Grey Nature got 3rd place. So even with post-Miyagi meta, you still have Grey Nature having a showing. And then Kagero in 4th, which, interesting.
Yeah, and then Royal Paladin 2nd, which
The grade 2 that stood out to me a lot in the Great Nature deck was Geograph Giant.
Really?
It's a beefy boy.
He is. So if he's on an additional rearguard circle, he gets plus 8k, and that's all the time. So not only does this make him a constant 27k attacker, meaning like you can hit force number, like if they take a trigger on damage, you're still hitting over 23k. He's also harder to bully, which is good.
Right.
And after playing with him at locals, I upped him from 2 to 3.
Right. Like obviously, it's not a card you want to or even think you should play 4 of. But I think on an Excel circle, the card is just really strong.
Oh yes, it is. I find it interesting that the Japanese players list included Bison and crits, whereas the English players list, who got first, was with the Hamstay line and front triggers. So you have 2 distinct builds, each doing their own thing.
Yeah, I'm not sold on front triggers at all.
Neither was I, but I tried them this weekend, and with the Hamstay thing where you're getting an extra Excel circle and filling it pretty much immediately, fronts are the way to go. With the armed instructor Bison thing where you're restanding something, of course, do crits. That that makes sense.
I think I was more looking at like the Murakumo guy with fronts.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Not completely sold on that. I mean, there were some times when he checked a front and it was like good, but I'm not. But I'm just not completely sold on front triggers in general. And maybe I just haven't played enough with them / without. Like I haven't tested enough with / without. But I don't know.
They just don't seem.
The lows are real low. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I noticed a common denominator among all of both of the top 4s, which is all 4 clans have 2 good rides.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which so Great Nature, you have Leopold is objectively good, and then you either have the Bison route or the Hamstay route. Fantastic. And then
if you set up the Hamstay route, it's also fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The build that I had before trying out the winning build that is closer to the Japanese players, where so he had things like Toolbox Wallaby, which I didn't, but that's fine. But yeah, this is a very diverse meta. You don't have 2 showings of the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like they've finally created enough powerful Excel clans where the Protect clans just aren't running away with things.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is it's a balanced meta and people can stop complaining for a little bit?
I mean, Standards complaints were about the meta early on, but Standards complaints now really aren't about the meta. So I don't really think it
people just don't really find
Standards
it
complaints
compelling.
are really about how much triggers impact the game and how much going first matters.
Well, you say that, but the Great Nature guy who won, he got over 2 games 7 heal triggers that didn't work.
Yeah, it's because you're ahead, right?
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, triggers on damage are absolutely massive in Standard. Huge.
Faux show.
So.
That's just how it is with when your triggers give more power.
Mm-hmm. But those are the complaints with Standard, not the... nobody cares about... you can play most clans and be reasonably okay unless your clan is just absolute dog shit. Looking at you Novas.
Well, they're getting a set. Maybe they'll fix themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that say for Premium, then? What does it look like for Premium?
So, Premium, a lot of people were on Ezel.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of Ezel. We saw a lot of No Life King, a lot of Ezel.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Gize.
Yeah.
A lot of Ezel ended up in top 8, and I think that's a response to No Life King being a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
because Ezel can just donk you.
Yeah. It's basically the best deck to keep pace with No Life King, aside from just playing it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Why? So because you can use the old Kirf in order to superior ride Ezel and then get the stride early? because of how they changed the mechanics. So the top 8 was... So 5th through 8 was Ezel, and then No Life King. 4th was Ezel. 3rd was OTT Gize. 2nd was Ezel. And 1st was...
Mega Colony.
Mega Colony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
not? That's a thing.
Yeah, that was really surprising.
Definitely. So this deck wasn't Mega Colony Gize. It wasn't using like the machining like strides with the new cards that happen to have machining in their name. It was running both Dark Faces and then Antlion for crits and pressure and stuff.
So Dark Face and Dark Face Gridora.
Yes. And the reason he did this was twofold. So apparently, Gridora, whose ability shuts off a column from being called to, allows you to partially kneecap No Life King from doing his shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
And Darkface, the original, if anyone remembers from long, long ago, his GB2 skill was when a unit is called to the opponent's side of the field, you can Soul Blast 2 and rest that unit. So that is used in order to neuter Gold Paladin, who has a lot of battle phase causing, and it worked.
This is some kind of like... It's either some kind of like, I'm just going to play Gridora and go for it, or it's some kind of like stage 2 next leveling of the Ezel.
I think it was a meta call more than anything.
Yeah.
So there was a whole lot of Ezel at Worlds.
There's a lot of Ezel.
He ran things like Vulgar Blister, which prevents a column from standing. He had things like... he had the Dark Face PG that allows you to recycle itself. He had... he used what's-her-face Overwhelm in order to keep pace with Ezel, because if he has a board full of cards, more than because of Excel circles, you get to draw a lot of cards.
Yep.
He had Zoa because Zoa's kind of good.
Yeah. Well, Zoa with the Antlion is...
Yeah, that's pretty bedonkulous, because you just... Alright, I'm Quint 9, no Sentinels, crit. What are you
Dunking
gonna do?
on you.
99999.
Yeah, that's why I said Quint 9.
Yeah.
9 5 times. But, yeah...
Funny enough, it is possible to guard that, especially with later G-Guards.
Yes.
Or, I think now that they freed Gears, who knows what's going to happen.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, and then on the Japanese side of things, we had Bermuda Triangle topping, because of course they did.
I'm so surprised not.
Yeah. A bolstered up version of Nubatama, that's what I was trying to say. Angel Feather, Gize, and No Life King.
Not gonna lie, this new Atama list looks sweet.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty fucking sweet too.
So it's Kujikiri Kongo. The image is really blurry. I can't make out a lot of the cards.
It's basically just all the Stealth Dragon discard strategy plus Dominate.
Oh, because of sheer
Dominate strides, because Dominate strides are stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
you, Rina.
That's pretty good. Like, this is all a very, diverse top 8, with I guess the exception of Ezel, but that's A, going to be a numbers game. B, like Matt said, it's the only thing that can kind of keep pace with No Life King. And yet you had a deck literally come out of nowhere. Like, Mega Colony has been the whipping boy of Vanguard players since its inception, really, and especially after Link Joker came out. And yet here it is winning.
I'm really glad that this World wasn't an embarrassment like the last two.
Finally. Yeah, it wasn't like a repeat of Seven Runner or Ripples.
Yeah. I think going forward, it's going to be more rare that we see Standard be an embarrassment. And it's gonna. Premium could randomly be an embarrassment, but we're just gonna hope that this just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of seeing it with just the prevalence of Ezel, because it can kind of cheat its way through the mechanics faster. But
all right, but that deck's sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, you had, like, if there's anything like cheating the game like Ripples or Seven Runner did, it's this. But you still had a meta pick being able to kind of quash it.
Yeah. So there might be a thing where might become a problem eventually, but I think as more sets get standard support or more clans get solid standard support, I think hopefully Ezreal will get a little weaker going forward.
Yeah.
But, that could not be true. I could be talking out of my ass. Who knows?
Bermuda Triangle could break the game even further, even though they.
Oh my god.
Well, the fact that
we'll
you
talk
still
about
had
the Banlist.
Ange winning in Japan,
Yes.
and they have had 0 support in standard, and
God,
it's
that's
still
so stupid. That's how the last run of premium support of GR support was so crazy. So crazy.
I know.
That just Bermuda's just still good.
It's been almost a year, you realize.
Over half the clans have standard support, Bermuda not one of them, and they're just still good.
Yep. Such is life.
Absolutely.
So, following that, Bushiroad revealed their new ban list, which everybody wanted Enigmatic Assassin hit 2210. Something
If you
less
did
than
it,
4.
you're not a real human being. That's pretty much how it was.
Agreed. So what has happened to the ban list? What are the new things?
Well, we took all the banned gear crap off of it.
So Hetero Round, TikTok Worker, and Steam Battler Erwitar are now all back at 4. And
Gears is completely free, and I think this could have happened probably a while ago, and I'm really glad it happened now.
TikTok Worker can also still be used as a starter again, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe so. Is that true?
I don't know. The picture that I saw this morning only said that it was off the banned list.
It says completely unrestricted. I'm looking at Proof's Discord. Completely unrestricted. Don't yell at me about TikTok. Yes, he's completely free again. So I'm guessing yes, you can use it as your starter.
Beautiful. And I'm not even sure it's super busted to even have that. I think it's just going to be a good card now. But I'm glad to see Gears be free.
I was talking to Richard about this today, specifically about Hetero Round, because I was like, well, isn't this just going to be back where we started? And he goes, no, for 2 reasons. One, Gearcat was the thing that made Hetero Round broken, not Hetero Round itself. Otherwise, it's basically just Denial Griffin. 2, you need a Chronojet Vanguard, and that's going to be harder to integrate with newer decks.
Yes. That was what I was thinking, too. When I was thinking about it, is anyone actually just going to play Chronojet anymore? I imagine people are just going to try using Mystery Flare, because you can already inflate your bind zone by doing all your Time Leap shenanigans, so if someone does try to work Time Leap into standard gears, then they don't really need Chronojet for that.
Yeah.
Look at the big brain on Richard.
And then, I also kind of had the thought, what would the Mellum combo combat back, and then I thought about that for all of 5 seconds before remembering that we have higher power bases now.
And triggers, or higher power triggers, which that's another thing. That's what he means by Gearcat, because plus 10k defense isn't as
it isn't
crippling.
enough anymore?
Yeah, it's not enough anymore. So, fine. Mick the Ghostian family is back at 4. Who cares?
Yeah.
I've been playing around with Premium Grand Blue. It does nothing. All it's really good for is just putting itself back in deck, which fine, I guess, but whatever. All right, so here are the 2 things that people were waiting for: Enigmatic Assassins at 1, and I forgot the name of the card, but she's the girl with the
Crook
whistle.
is at 1.
Thank you. So, can you tell me what Crook's effect is, please?
When it's in Harmony, I believe after the battle that it boosted, if it's in Harmony, then you can put it back into your deck, bounce a unit to your hand, and call something to the field.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Wow, that seems really good.
So, that's at 1. Enigmatic Assassin's at 1. It needed to happen. It probably needed to happen for a while. And by the way, this doesn't necessarily kill No Life King completely. You can still do 2 restands, and that's quite good.
I think it's going to be you're going to be very hard pressed to play No Life King.
What do you mean?
I think it's going to be a lot before the deck was really, really insane. And now you're still going to have the same bad matchups, but your deck's going to be slower, a little more consistent, and not as powerful.
I mean, they still had a very solid crop of strides. Dark
Yeah.
Regulars, so I think they'll still be okay. It's just people have to think a little bit differently, and now they're not top dog anymore.
Yeah, I just think you can't go like all in necessarily. Is my point.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think that Ezel is going to be the new hated thing on the block. I've already seen a couple of memes where it's like the Steve Buscemi thing where it's Kirf and it's like, how do you do, fellow balanced decks? And it's like, fine,
Right.
just let it run around for a little bit. It never really got any day in the sun yet.
It's like the first time Gold's Paladin's been good in
A while. Since
many years.
since Legion era, I think.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then Gize didn't get hit, which I'm sure a lot of people on various Facebook groups and the subreddit are pissed about because
I think
everybody
it's fine.
loves to hate.
Gize's just not been putting up numbers recently. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people are playing decks that can fight over Gize.
Yeah, well, you had things like Ezel, who like not getting defensive
clowns
triggers.
them?
Yeah, I think that's the big predator against Gize is just being able to go, all right, I have 6 attacks turn 2 because I can ride grade 3 before you can, and I can stride, and you're dead, and all your triggers didn't actually give you power; they just bound stuff. So,
Yep.
suck it.
One problem I do have about Ezel is like if Ezel goes first, the deck does feel like really, really nuts.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how that's going to play out going forward. One thing that bothered me about the ban list is while they're unbanning cards, it just didn't even unban things like Laurel or Elizabeth. Like Refros can stay banned. I think we can all agree.
Yeah. Well, Lisbeth is still loopable, isn't it? Or
Yeah, but nobody does this, and it's probably not even good. And Laurel, well, nobody can explain that one. Although I do have a theory. I do think it is a helpful ban in the sense that it helps players make the proper decision.
oh,
Like
So-
it's banned so people can't mess up.
it's banned so people can't mess up.
Yeah, by playing the old Laurel over the new one.
You think that Bushiroad plays the role of this like benevolent? I want them to play the new Laurel, but I can't just tell them directly. I have to,
Ban around it.
Mr. Miyagi
Yeah.
wax on, wax off them to.
But they aren't just telling you directly because it's restricted. So
Yeah.
you can only play at most one of the old ones. You'll play 3 of the new one,
Yeah. Oh, and then
and
you're
you
like,
can do
oh,
sweet things.
pretty much like a over 128k restanding with the crit gallop.
Although I do want them to unrestrict the old ones just so we can have large Reddit threads about why old Laurel is superior to new Laurel, but only
that
if
to
you build
happen?
your deck correctly.
Oh my god. What was
So
the
that's what I'm looking forward to personally.
what was that coffee pasta about 12 attack Pale Moon from?
Right, I think it was 14 and nobody knows.
Right, that's right. 14 attack Pale Moon.
I can't tell you. It's my competitive deck.
Yeah, I don't want you to net deck me, man.
That's right, that's what it was.
Yeah, net deckers are the worst or something.
So yeah, Assassin being hit to 1 is objectively good. No Life King's gonna have to adapt, fine. What do you guys think about this this stand trigger that has been reduced to 1 for Bermuda?
Croc? I think this more has to do with the support that Bermuda's getting rather than
Yeah.
the Bermuda deck now.
I have to imagine that's the case too. But I will say that
Fourth,
Crook
right?
on her own is pretty strong. She enables a lot of combos, and if you play your cards right, then you should be able to get like a lot of attacks and combos off with her.
Bermuda's force, right?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah,
They're going to be able to keep
that is
slamming the
100%
same
part of the
circle.
reason.
Yeah. I think it's more of just a preventative ban, like they're used to doing, constantly.
Like Jumping Jill and Purple Trapezist.
Or, Commander Laurel twice.
But she was played at 4 in the topping Bermuda deck, so
Yeah.
I get the
Yeah.
feeling
That
that
part's crazy.
I get the feeling that hitting Ange herself would have been too it would have been like decapitating it instead of kneecapping it.
like too direct, and I think they would prefer it if you if they, man, I'm trying to figure out what words are. I think they would prefer that you play the grade 3, so they try to ban around those instead of directly hitting them. Because they're supposed to be like the boss units of your deck, right?
Yeah.
Like, I imagine that might be part of it. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, like, have they ever directly just banned a problem grade 3, or just pieces around it?
Usually pieces around it. It's not like they've ever hit, like, Chronojet Z or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think they're ever going to hit, like, a namesake card.
Yeah. Like, I think that's just part of it, is they want you to play the grade 3s. They're kind of the boss units of your deck that tie everything together, so they're never going to directly hit it. They're just going to take out, like, problematic pieces of a combo.
Let's imagine they printed, like, a Buster Blaster Blade, right?
Yeah.
They would just never touch that card. Because they literally can't. It's
how long was the Blaster Engine around?
Yeah, and they never even hit the crit, now it doesn't matter, right? Like, okay.
Yeah, I think the one time they actually hit a grade 3 was Sanctuary Guard.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was like forever ago.
Mm-hmm. And then people kept finding ways around it, and then they made all the blaster support, so people didn't need to play around Sanctuary Guard anymore.
Yep, and now Sanctuary Guard's like not a thing.
Yep. Except I've seen a couple of threads being like, wouldn't it be cool if they brought it back for standard? I'm like, just...
They probably will randomly once they run out of ideas from the manga.
I'm sure they will. But we'll see. So, yeah. Banlist is good. Is there anything you wish would have gotten hit?
Me.
I mean, I guess the Gize engine, but considering they announced reprints from it, I doubt that's happening anytime soon.
Well, they have to take your money first, so yeah.
Yeah, the second I saw that, I'm like, they're not gonna hit it. You still saw people being like, I bet they're gonna hit. No, of course not. This isn't like. I feel like I think I remember Konami doing something like that where they released a reprint. They're like, okay, it's banned. Oh right, Crush Card Virus. That's what it was.
I think I really just wanted to see more things unbanned that just didn't need to be banned anymore.
Yeah, which they did.
Yeah, I just mean like additional things. Even past
what's still on the ban list that doesn't actually matter anymore?
Laurel, Lizbeth. What other card did we just mention? Is Sanctuary Guard still on there?
Oh, it is. Huh.
Yeah, like all these cards just don't need to be on there. Is Regali still on there, right?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so like, I think the cards that got unbanned made it so that you can better play their deck's namesake.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
With them compared to things like Sanctuary Guard and Laurel, like you weren't gonna do it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. But it's like there's just like you want the ban list to be as minimal as possible.
That's true.
So having things on the ban list that just shouldn't be there is not fulfilling that goal.
Makes sense. Maybe it's like as an example to the other cards. Or
yeah.
something.
I just think it's funny how they keep banning Laurel like preemptively and he just doesn't do anything. It's like very amusing.
If they unban it,
the Japanese ban list, right? We get the English ban list like at some point.
Oh yeah, well, it comes out like what within a month or something.
It's usually pretty quick.
Yeah,
so we'll probably see it like very shortly. I imagine it will be mostly the same.
The only difference we've had in the ban list, I think, is Japan had Lizbeth hit and we didn't.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, our Elizabeth is free the whole time.
Yep. Refros can stay at 1.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Anything that enables an infinite loop should just stay banned forever.
Look, Refros's problem is much different than everything else.
What, because it's not so much the brokenness part, it's the takes forever part?
It's the takes forever and is literally free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like
it is. It costs negative counterblast. It's just like not okay.
Yeah. And then the way current Angels are, they probably still could abuse Refros, so he's probably staying there for a while.
Yeah, screw that guy. Yeah, Refros ain't okay and never will be. Thank you. This has been my TED Talk.
So, yeah, that was Worlds in the ban list.
Yeah, I really enjoyed coverage this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. There were a lot of the matches were commentated
Well,
by.
I enjoyed it when there were matches going on. One problem I had with coverage was there was a lot of dead time.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of me not paying attention to it and watching H-Bomb stream instead.
It was a whole lot of the same 7 commercials over and over. It's like watching Hulu. Like,
it was that part was miserable. But when matches were going, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
So I do hope that in the future they try to cut a lot of that dead time out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were the Vanguard matches were commentated by Cardprotgonist and friend of the pod, Differentfight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did a great job. Like, for a card game that in general doesn't really seem like you would have a lot of explanation for things, as opposed to something like, normal sports or even like a game like or Smash Bros. Or anything like that. They managed to, I think, fill the time very well because they were saying things like, I wonder what he's thinking about this, or maybe he should have done that, or this card's effect. Like, they took to their roles very well, and I commend them for that. So,
similarly, I thought the Weiss commentary was also very good.
I did not watch the Weiss stream. How was that?
It was pretty solid. People were playing some pretty wacky decks as far as English meta is concerned, but I thought the commentary was very strong. I believe it was a guy named Matthew. I'm not sure on his last name, but his name was Matthew, and then Kit King, who's who I know personally. But I did enjoy that commentary quite a bit.
I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't actually watch the stream.
Nice.
I watched part of it while filming some games for the channel with Gabe. So
I watched almost all of it. So there you go.
Yeah, see,
did you happen to catch the buddy fight portion?
Buddy fight didn't get put on stream.
It did. So it did. So with
the very end.
Yeah. So with Weiss and Vanguard, you had music in the background. You had commentary. You had all this fanfare. Buddy fight was literally zero music, zero commentary. Just
nobody gave a fuck.
Points.
That's what I wanted to say. The music during matches was the worst.
Oh yeah, I didn't really like the music.
It made me think I had another tab open the whole time. It was awful,
and it was the same music every match. It's not like they changed it up.
Yeah. So hold on. So let me retract. I thought the stream was okay, except for too much dead time. Playing music during matches is the worst actual thing anyone could ever do. Like, just have commentator. And the sound of cards flicking, and that's fine.
Yeah.
If I wanted music, I could open another tab.
Went from medium plus to medium minus.
They're not in the anime.
They're not in the anime.
You don't need music. Thank you.
This has been my TED Talk. Again.
That's what I wanted to say.
Fair enough. I mean, the buddy fight thing was really eerie because there was no talking over it. It was just them pointing. Because a lot of it is like when people play card games with their opponent, and you kind of assume the opponent knows most of what you're doing. You just kind of point and be like, effect. You don't really say, I activate the effect of my trap card, blank. This allows me to do X, Y, and you're just like, flip. That's it.
Like, flip, skill, call this card.
Flip, still, guard restraint.
Turn the card sideways. It does a thing.
And now you're dead. So, but yeah, buddy fight.
Nobody gave a fuck, apparently.
What if that was like some kind of palate cleanser where they're like, all right, they got all this fanfare for Vanguard and Weiss, and now for buddy fight, it's just nothing. Give me nothing. Choke on that.
So no, I did stop watching it after all of the streams I cared about were done.
Fair enough. I
don't care about Buddy Fight. It's not even a game I've considered playing at any point. So
I don't care about Buddy Fight, but Gabe does. So I was sitting there watching it with him. I'm like, there's nothing, and he's like, yeah, I know, it's great. I'm like,
I would like no music, but yeah, I just don't give a shit about Buddy Fight.
Yeah, maybe some, maybe like a baseball game where when something happens, you get a little music sting, like a da 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 da, or something when someone.
Literally anything,
Yeah,
so that your game doesn't seem, fucking dead.
I guess so. I mean, I was more talking about in Vander, like cut out the music, but instead have little like audio cues or something. Although I guess with a stream, that's not really doable.
Yeah.
You just have to have the music going on in the background.
All I know is like I went to the VOD afterwards, saw it was 9 hours long, and then immediately closed the tab.
Understandable.
Yeah. But yeah, Worlds was all right.
Worlds was all right. It wasn't
better than the last 2 years combined, I think.
Yeah. Well, because it wasn't a humiliating mess for the first place.
It wasn't a humiliating mess for the game in general.
True.
Yeah.
And the ban list hit the problem thing and something that also could be a problem. So.
Yeah, how bizarre.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have to deal with Kirf later, but fine.
I think it's possible that they shouldn't have hit Kruk yet. And just hit it and just had like another ban list 4 months from now.
There's also just the possibility she's too strong on her own, even outside of new support.
That's fair, but it feels a little bit preemptive to me, but I completely understand why.
Yeah, based on what I remember about Bermuda Triangle, it feels justified to me.
Yeah.
I can see how Crook could create a number of problematic combos even without new support. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't be played at 4.
But man, Bermuda's going to be gross as fuck with Force.
Yes, it is.
God, yes it is.
Bounce recall on my double-stacked rearguard circle. 35k, again.
Are you ready for the new Shizuku thing that searches grade 3s?
Right. I mean, I hope so.
Every
I like
single
Shizuku.
set. Every single set.
Yeah, but I like Shizuku, so it's okay.
Same.
I'm just going to let you take the lead on that, because if there's a clan I know literally nothing about, it's Bermuda Triangle. Followed closely by
Leon's
Luke
going to be
Joker.
the grade 3 again, don't worry.
Pacifica.
Will they even have room for all of the legacy support, considering all of the anime characters they have to shove in there?
No. Well, look, they can make room.
I mean,
They just need Aqua, Sedna, because those are the first 2 Bermuda cards. Everything else they don't care about.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Aqua is definitely going to be there. She's going to be a draw PG, probably.
Oh, Ellie?
No, Aqua. Didn't Aqua come first?
Aqua and Sedna were in the same set, I believe.
Yeah. Well, all I know is they brought her name up in the anime during the first episode, so...
Sure.
Mermaids.
What if it's
stuff.
Aqua, but they just put Aqua from Konosuba on it?
I have no idea what that
That'd
means.
be A+ troll.
Anime sucks and is for nerds. That's the only
Fact.
only response I have to
Anime
that.
does suck.
And is for nerds.
Yeah.
Also, because I'm too lazy to do an actual review, my impression of the first Bermuda Triangle episode was it sucks and is too lame even for nerds.
Wow.
There's just nothing going on that episode.
I only watched the first episode. It was very medium minus.
It was just so fucking boring.
No,
nothing.
guys.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe it's like The Wire and it gets better after the first season or something.
Man, people tell me that, and I'm like, you expect me to sit through a whole season?
I know, right? I think what they're trying to do is do like the Seinfeld method, where you just skip the first season, start with season 2.
Yeah, they don't say that.
Yeah, and then if you
If I
like it, go
need
back and watch
information
it.
for the first season, it's like, here's the thing, Avatar: The Last Airbender, book 1 is shit. Everyone knows this. It's not even arguable. Book 1 is trash.
I liked book 1. Not as. I think in order for me, it's 2, 3, 1.
1 over 4?
Do you mean Legend of Korra? You said Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
There's 3 seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's 4 in Legend of Korra.
Oh, okay. So yeah, 1 is by far the worst.
Okay. Oh no, for Legend of Korra, it's 3, 4, 1, 2
Anyway,
for me.
for Last Airbender,
Yeah.
the book 1, the beginning season is awful. It's so boring. You don't have all the interesting characters. It's a whole bunch of Aang being a child.
Did you just say fucking Aang?
Yeah.
Get the hell
I
out!
never
What?
fucking name it.
Nexus at Night, the show about various cartoons and anime.
Yeah.
And The Wire.
But I'm
for
just
some
saying,
reason.
book 1 is bad, and you can just skip to book 2 because they retell you everything in book 1 every 5 seconds anyway.
I mean, you get a lot of like Zuko being a jerk in season 1.
Yeah, nobody needs that in their life.
I thought it was pretty good, especially it starts to get good around halfway through. When you have like the thing where they get sick and then Zuko has to go, it like goes and rescues Aang from that fortress and.
Sure.
Okay, that may have been a minor spoiler, but the show has been out for like 15 years. So
Look, if people haven't seen it yet, they're not going to watch it. Okay.
yeah, pretty much.
That's just how it is. So, point is, book 1 sucks. Start at book 2. There you go. Fixed.
I disagree, but fine.
And some shows you're supposed to stop after a season, even though they have a billion seasons. You're supposed to stop somewhere and be like, "No, I'm not going to watch it after this point."
Scrubs after season 8.
Supernatural ends at season 5. In fact,
Yeah.
it's just these things. You know, you just accept that that's true.
Wait, have we ever? We've never done an episode about the Vanguard anime exclusively, have we?
I'm pretty
we
sure we
haven't.
have actually. We've done maybe 2. Because we talked about how how the anime misrepresents how people actually play the game.
Yeah.
Yes, and we tied that into like clan loyalty and how Bushiroad made support.
I was more talking about like reviewing the show as a show.
Oh, I definitely don't want to do that. Here, I'll do it right now. It sucks. Thank you.
It sucks and is for nerds. The only reason anybody watched it was for reveals, but I think reveals are actually ahead of the show now, so there's literally no reason to watch
That's
it.
pretty much why I watched it for a long time. But man, like a lot of the characters just really flat.
Yeah. I mostly watch it just so I can make memes out of like certain moments for the Twitter account. That's literally it.
Yeah, the characters just aren't interesting to me, and it's like, you know what has to happen, right? So you're kind of like, all right, so that's not interesting.
Like,
I would probably be more inclined to watch it if there was no like supernatural elements.
yeah,
What, where it was just kind of slice of life, but with Vanguard?
Yeah, or like just like a tournament sports arc, right?
Yeah.
I
But
think
it's not. It's always like,
we have to save the
shit.
world.
yeah, the world's ending. We gotta do that.
Yeah, or I lost a game of Vanguard and now I don't want to play anymore. That's literally a plot point.
Uh-huh.
So for anybody who doesn't bother to watch, because why would you? One of the characters loses a game to a character playing deleters, and he gets deleted, which in the game means your Vanguard doesn't have an effect anymore, but in real life it made it so he just didn't want to play.
Nice.
I literally had to pause. I was
Actively
laughing so hard.
improved his life.
Yeah, exactly. It was just the kind of thing where he's like, I don't want to play anymore. I'm like, good. Go get a job. Go to college. Move out of the house.
Well, all of those things sound awful.
Well, yeah, but... Well, because they're all high school students, so I'm assuming that's like the other big thing in their lives that they...
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty much it for the worlds and the ban list and how we got into a 10-minute discussion about the fucking
Anime.
Wire and anime. And Avatar: The Last
Avatar's
Airbender,
anime, by the way.
which is not an anime, and therefore does not suck and is for nerds. So, yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Nexus at Night. You can find us on Twitter at the same name, or Instagram for that matter. You can find me at Atlas Novak.
Find me at Wiggums, 2 G's, 2 Z's.
Oh, we brought it
You can
back.
find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Hooray! So, until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
Just watch an anime called Endro if you want to see cute girls doing cute things, and I'm Root Beer.
How do you spell that?
ENDRO.
Okay.
Hold on, when does Precure start?
What?
How many days till Precure?
I have no idea.
I have no idea
Well, you
what
don't
that
have
means
Precure?
either.
Anyway, it starts in 11 days, so there you go.
Okay. Have a
Like
good night,
it.
everybody.